So actually, here is the backpack assembly line, okay?
Yes.
Now, every single person that you see here, we know these are incredible volunteers.
Check it out.
That take off so much time from work, from their family to be here to prepare for our camp. Remember, it's not just a preparation for the day of the camp, it's getting prepared ahead of time, which is today, by the way. So as you can see, here we are going down the assembly line so that the backpacks get filled. These right here, these are the backpacks that the youth are going to take on their way home. Now, everything they get, they'll get on their way home,
That's right. Absolutely. And Nessa, I don't know if you noticed, all of our lovely volunteers here, Colin is actually packing the backpacks too. So you want me to grab him? I'll grab him.
Yeah, we've been trying to get him on the show
Yeah.
for like ever. And here's the funny thing. He'll do everything to avoid us.
Right.
And so like, how am I supposed to pull him when he's doing what he wants to do
What you do is say, oh my gosh, baby Cap is crying.
Colin!
Baby Cap is crying.
Baby Cap is crying.
It didn't work.
It didn't work. Come here. Why is he like this? Why
It worked. I think it worked.
Why is Colin like this?
Everybody, please welcome.
Yes, Colin Kaepernick. Okay, so we need.
Baby Cap.
It's me.
Yes,
So
Baby Cap.
for people who are listening right now, Colin's making fun of me, calling me Baby Cap as the person who's crying. But anyways, long story short, Colin is now joined with us. He was just helping the assembly line, and that's just what he does every single camp since we've started a camp.
Literally packs the backpack. So I'm actually really excited. I'm here with the co-founders of the Know Your Rights Camp, Colin and Nessa. I got both of you guys on the mic right here. Can you believe it?
Yes, this is crazy because, Colin won't talk to anybody. Like, he might end this right now. So really quick, Colin, okay, hold on before he wraps this interview up. The inception of the Know Your Rights Camp started in 2015. We were there to see it. For you, how did it happen, and why was it important for you to create this family that we have here?
Well, the creation of Know Your Rights Camp started after the execution of Mario Woods in San Francisco. And it came out of our conversation together of what can we do to try to stop this from happening? Mm-hmm. What can we do to try to help black people get home safe? So we thought about, hey, if we teach them their legal rights, can it help them navigate a situation to just get home? And it's not a responsibility or onus that we should have to take upon ourselves, but it's just the reality of what we need to do to make it home. And as we were building and discussing the idea, it was like, it's not a great concept to build upon to say, hey, here's how to not die. So we built the other programming to lay the foundation of, here's the history of your community and black people in this country and in your city. And then we'll teach you your legal rights within your state, within your region. And then we'll teach you holistic health and financial self-defense and how to get into higher education and tech. So how do we teach our communities how to thrive and be well-rounded in how we can thrive, and then build community around that? So Know Your Rights Camp was birthed out of that. Our first one was in Oakland, California, in 2016,
Right.
which was amazing because even thinking about the first camp, as both of you remember, we had this concept, it had this idea,
Yes.
and it was all of the homies like,
Yeah.
hey, y'all got mics?
Yeah.
Who got backpacks?
Who got a
All
camera?
right. We got cameras.
Colin, you got the backpacks. You got the shoes.
We got a camera.
Also, shout out to Johnny, your longtime friend from
Yes.
Shoe Palace.
Oh, yeah.
Who has always been dedicated to make sure we had our Know Your Rights shirts. He always helped out in case we needed extra Nike shoes.
Right.
I mean, literally, Johnny, Shoe Palace, which is why I support them so much. It has
Absolutely.
nothing to do with anything else. No, they don't pay me. No, they don't do anything.
Right.
They literally care about the community, whether it is with Know Your Rights Camp or if they're just doing
That's
community
right.
work in general. So I wanted to mention that for sure.
Absolutely. And if you look at majority of our Know Your Rights Camp
Every
members
single person, we
who
know.
are here, this is everybody that's built over the years.
That's right.
Know Your Rights Camp doesn't exist without everybody that's here.
Yep.
And it started very organically.
Yeah.
That people wanted to help. How
Right.
can we create that better future? How can we create better opportunities? And we've continued to build upon that. And in the process, we built an incredible family.
What would you want to see for Know Your Rights Camp? Something that you would like it to morph into, improve on? Uh-oh, Katrina's getting nervous.
Improve on. Oh my gosh.
Improve on. Like, what do you want to see?
So Katrina, write this down, all right?
I already
Write
have
this
a list
down.
for Katrina. Are you
Oh
kidding
my
me?
gosh. I'm gonna just
Which
grab my
did-
laptop.
She hasn't still done her
So y'all
to-do list.
know, she has a list from the original camp.
I do.
So
I do.
2015.
So there's
the
probably a
inception.
video I didn't finish editing back then, but it's okay because we're on to 2023, guys. All right.
So for the future of Know Your Rights Camp, one of the immediate things we want to do is build fellowships off of the camp programming.
Ooh.
Nice.
So around the points that we're teaching within the camp of tech and legal and finance and education, how can we create fellowship opportunities for the youth where not only are they learning the skills, but we are also compensating them for their time?
Wow.
Because
I love it.
oftentimes youth are having to decide, well, I need to help support my family. I need to go get a job. But that becomes at the expense of their long-term development. So if we can help solve both of those problems, we can help them build the skill sets for their future,
Yeah.
but also help them take care of some of the needs that they have right now. So that's one of the immediate things.
Yeah.
One of the other programs that we've talked about for a few years that we haven't brought to fruition yet, but I think we should.
A brilliant mind listening or watching this will help us. Okay.
Yes.
What is it?
Is we always talked about doing down payment assistance program.
Yes.
Yes. And knowing that there's a generational wealth gap
Yeah.
in black and brown communities in relation to white communities. There was an article, I think a few years back at this point, that was written as the race to zero, which is the net worth of the average black and brown family was continuing to decline. And who was going to hit zero first?
Oh.
So thinking about down payment assistance, the biggest predictor of generational wealth comes from home ownership. So if we can help bridge that gap, that can be a way that we help close that generational wealth gap that we're seeing right now.
I'm excited.
Me too.
I personally, I would like to establish possibly a museum.
Yes.
Wait, maybe not that word, okay, because Colin does not like
center,
that.
a
because-
center.
I'll tell you why he doesn't like that, because he feels like that's too much attention on him. And that's the complete opposite of who Colin is. Right. If you know him at all, he wants all the focus on everybody else, on the community. He doesn't want it on him. So I don't say a museum like that where people can't come in. So to your point, Katrina, yes, more of a center.
That's right.
Where it can be a communal space for everybody to thrive in. And, I always am conflicted at where the location would be.
Oh, man, we've been
because that's
to
really
so
hard.
many
Because
places.
Colin is like, there's so many moments for us that are so important.
Right.
For example, like, obviously this started in the Bay Area, right? Oakland, California is very
That's right.
special to Colin and I. To all of us. Katrina, you're from the Bay.
I'm from the Bay.
But also, like, New York. That's
New
where
York.
Colin and I met. So, like, also Harlem has a
Harlem, our
special
second
place for
camp.
me
That's
because of, like, Colin's exploration. I remember when he went to the Malcolm X, when we went to the Audubon Ballroom.
Yes.
And this was during the time that Colin read the autobiography of Malcolm X. And, like, I know how much that's changed your life. By the way, that's going to be in the
backpacks.
backpack.
That's
Just
right.
as a side note, in case you're listening right now and you haven't caught on to, like, the rest of the conversation that we're having, preparing for the Know Your Rights Camp. But I'm going to manifest that, and I hopefully will make it
Manifest.
happen because I think it would be great. Imagine, like, a farm connected to it or gardening.
urban garden.
Or, yes, urban garden. You could tell, like, I
Yes.
have no idea, like,
A
where to get
holistic health
fruits.
center.
Yes.
Everything.
Ooh, like, where people come get a checkup and it's
Right.
free and stuff like that.
Someone to help you with your to-do lists.
Yeah. Oh, Katrina,
No?
you're going to upset me every time you do this.
I have one question, though. Colin, I asked this to Nessa as a co-founder of the camp. You are one of the co-founders of the camp. If you can describe the Know Your Rights Camp in one word, what word would you choose?
Intentional.
Oh, very nice
intentional.
word. So, why?
Intentional in the sense of what we're building, why we're building it, who we're building it for, the environment that we create, the volunteers and community that we're building with each other. Like, all of these things don't just happen. We're very intentional about why we're building these things and how we're going about building them. And sometimes that means it might be a little bit slower process
Right.
because we know we have to get to the right outcome.
That's right.
And when we think about the work that we do, it's not like other work. If we make a mistake or we're messing up in certain areas, that impact, it may have a little impact on us, but it more so has an impact on the communities that we're trying to help and trying to serve, and the youth we're trying to serve at the camps. So, like, we have to be very intentional in everything we're doing because the outcomes matter so much.
That's great.
I have a
love that.
question. Out of all the camps, was there a particular city that, I don't know, stands out to you, that meant so much, that did something to your soul, and you're just like, wow, it was a special time?
There are moments within different camps.
Okay.
that really stand out to me. So, thinking back to our first camp in Oakland, like, one of the things that stood out to me is we had a houseless group come in, and they were young. Like,
Right.
some were elementary school through high school, but they came in very intentional and motivated.
Right.
And
And it
were-
was a group.
It
with
was a
their
group.
chaperones, and they came.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And they came in and they're like, yeah, this is our newspaper.
Yeah.
We're talking about decolonization. Like, this is indigenous land. This is what's going. And I was like, yo,
This is amazing.
Right.
these are elementary school kids and
Yeah.
middle school and high. Like, I was not being taught that. I didn't know that. Couldn't articulate that at that age. Like, that blew me away. On top of them being houseless and being in that situation, just was incredible.
Yeah.
I'll say another moment that comes to mind is in Chicago. And
Chicago was.
we had a
great.
speaker talking about finance and real estate and like how to get a home. And speaker mentioned like, oh, I have multiple, like, you can buy multiple homes. And I remember one of the youth standing up being like, well, wait, so you can own more than one home? And he's like, yeah. He goes, oh, okay, well, how do I help the community do that?
Oh, yeah, that was.
So even in that moment of seeing opportunity, like, he wasn't thinking about opportunity just for himself. He was thinking about opportunity for the community as a whole.
Yeah.
So that was another powerful moment. I think to Baltimore.
Baltimore was
yeah.
special.
Baltimore,
Great energy.
incredible energy, but it was also, it was impactful because it was a learning experience for me.
Right.
That when we do our legal presentation, we include ICE and immigration rights as part of that.
That's right.
And I remember after the camp, Nessa came up and was like, I don't know if you know this, but there was a group that went off
Right.
to, we always have a safe space and a safe room for
It's
the
where
youth.
people can meditate, where they can decompress.
And a group of youth went in to that room, and they're excited, they're taking notes, and they're talking back and forth. And Nessa walks in to check on them. It's like, hey, I just want to make sure everybody's okay. And they were so excited about the information they got,
Yeah.
but they didn't want to show it in front of everybody else because they didn't know if someone was going to call ICE on them. So it gave me insight into what some of the youth are navigating and what resources or what information is valuable to them.
Right.
And they were trying to think about, how do we get this to all of our family, our community? So that stood out. And then the last one I'll mention is when we were in Vegas for our camp. There were two youth that stood out. As we were wrapping up the day and finishing the scavenger hunt, and those were getting graded, I was trying to buy some time. Hey, what stood out for y'all today? Like,
Right.
what are you going to take away from today? And, one young man stood up. He was like, what I take away is, even though we live in a broken system, doesn't mean we have to be a broken people.
Wow.
And I was like,
wow.
man, that's profound, especially coming from someone who's in high school.
Right.
And then the second one was a young woman who stood up and was like, the thing that I'm going to take away from today is, I know there's people out there that love me.
That was the moment I was
That was the
reminiscing
moment.
on.
That's right.
That was
Nessa
important.
mentioned that moment.
that too. Yeah.
And it was a beautiful and painful moment.
Right.
Like, it made me happy that we created that environment, that she felt that.
Right.
It also was painful in the sense of how many people failed her
Right.
Oh.
over her lifetime.
Yeah.
So, like, those are moments that stand out. There are also moments that they'll never show up on paper.
Right.
They'll never show up in,
Your percentage.
hey,
or
our
whatever.
impact,
Whatever
or
number.
we serve this many
Right,
youth.
right,
like,
right, right.
it won't show up there.
Right.
But they're very real moments of impact.
Absolutely.
And I think those far outweigh any numbers that we can put on a piece of paper.
That's right.
And you know, for a long time, Colin, you were funding the Know Your Rights camp.
Yes.
And, you know, luckily we got to a place where people wanted to donate and support and help and see the work continue. And what I love, like, literally, I can't say it enough, every single person that you see
Yes.
that is here, they're volunteering their time.
Yep.
And time is something you can never get back. So, you know, it is a labor of love. And we're always looking for people to build with. And we're always looking for community and family. And
Right.
that's really, really important, I know, for all of us.
That's right.
And Colin, I just can't believe we still had a chance to talk to you today, because like, you're always running off, you're always doing something, you're always busy. I mean, it's, you know, for number 12, this is camp number 12, and to have been doing it for this long, and does it feel,
Continuing.
continuing to do it. Does it feel like it's been a long time we've been doing it? Does it feel like it's been a short amount of time? How does timing work in all this?
My sense of timing is distorted from COVID.
Yeah.
Right.
Because we had a hiatus during that time period. But I will say, as the camps have grown, as our family and team has grown, the camps feel better and better as we're going. We're able to refine things to make it better.
Right.
What I'm really excited about is how we're building and setting it up for the future.
That's right.
So the time it's taken us to do 12 camps right now, that's going to be drastically cut down for the next 12 camps that we do.
Right.
That's right.
Right.
Which just means more youth that we can impact, more communities we can impact. And we're able to do the work faster to build that better future and better opportunities for everyone.
You know what, also, last point, you know what I feel like, not to toot our own horn, that I feel like we've done really well, is that when we bring like a guest speaker in, right? Like your longtime friend, Sean Torrey, right? You went to school with, you went to college with, right? He's been an educator in the community for a very long time. He became a guest speaker at the Vegas camp, right? And
Yep.
then we just basically just took him
He's a
forever.
volunteer
Like
now.
he's
part
like
of
our
the
brother.
family.
You're on the road with us.
Right.
We
We're
are
taking
we are
you, man.
great. We are great at capturing people and just grabbing them and taking them with us.
And so, and here he is now, always with us, coming to every camp, and he is part of the camp. He's no
Right.
longer a guest speaker. He's now part of the camp. He's a volunteer with us.
That's right.
Same with, you know, Aisha, who's going to be emceeing the camp,
Right.
right? As well, I met her through Lower East Side Girls Club and through my internship for Nessa on Air, and then she became part of Know Your Rights camp. She attended it.
Right.
And then we
That's
brought her in as a
right.
youth ambassador.
That's right.
And now she's the MC. So what I really love is paying it forward.
That's right.
The people that I, you know, came up with, for example, Katrina, but, you know, Footy, for example, someone that I knew when I was doing radio in San Francisco, right? Someone like Pedro, someone like Mocha, who's here, you know, and people who aren't here today, right? That have played a part in helping with the Know Your Rights camp. To see everybody evolve is pretty amazing.
It is.
There was a time you and I weren't parents, right? Like I was saying now about Katrina. To see everybody here evolve in their own way is really cool as well. So, and we grow together, and we also aren't perfect. And I think that's the beautiful thing about all our volunteers. They accept us knowing that we're not perfect, knowing that we're trying to figure it out, knowing we're trying to make each camp better than it was the last time we did it. So here we are.
The other thing, just thinking about people that have grown with the camp. I mean, Milo came in as health speaker,
right,
and
right.
now he's continuously been in that role. He's done Know Your Rights podcasts on
Right.
it. We have had B Mike
Oh yes.
B Mike originally was, hey, that's the homie.
Yeah, we
like,
love B Mike. His
B
studio
Mike
in
does
New Orleans. Yeah.
incredible work. We went and visited the studio.
That's right.
Right.
Just to go see what the work he was doing.
Right.
That turned into a relationship, into the New Orleans camp, into
right.
him doing an art piece, and a bunch of other stuff that we've done together. But it's also turned into the youth that he brings.
Amazing.
Was just talking to one of them today that was like, yeah, I was at the New Orleans camp.
Oh,
Yeah.
It was like, you,
As a
you-
youth.
It's
I was
amazing.
attending, I was sitting there with you, and he's like, now I've been at the last few camps, like doing
Part of
art
it.
presentations.
Yeah. So,
So
amazing.
like, it's dope to see those evolutions and relationships build, and also see the youth that are coming and evolving with the camp
Right.
and taking up leadership roles.
Yes. Yes.
Like,
Come
they
on.
are building in that way.
So great.
We're seeing the evolution of the youth, of volunteers, of the camp as a whole. Like, that excites me.
You know, I do want to talk about the production aspect of the Know Your Rights camp, right? Because, you know, that was maybe because I started, you know, my career on what people mostly would know, like a marketing team, also known as like the street team. For San Francisco, we were not called that. We were called the party crew, but it's the same thing. It's the marketing team, right?
Right,
We're on the
right.
ground and we're handling it. So part of this is events. Actually, a big part of
Event
the camp.
production.
This is an event production.
Right.
So how important is event production here? And everyone we know comes from event production, and why is that important? I mean, obviously, Tone, who we talked to later on, really we're going to talk to him about like how important it is to set up. You know, obviously my mentor, Ray, who's also a volunteer part of the Know Your Rights camp, they come from that world of big shows. We're talking about some of the biggest shows in the country. How similar is it to, I guess, creating a camp? How much work goes behind this?
The behind the scenes work of the teams is incredible. When you show up and come to a camp, it feels like an event, and it's like, oh man,
Yes.
this is incredible.
Yeah.
You never have the appreciation for the logistics that go into the behind the
Yes.
scenes.
Yes.
Everything from, all right, where are we going to have the camp?
Right.
Are we going to have the venue? Do we have insurance for it?
Right.
Who's doing the catering?
The lighting.
The
audio,
The lighting.
Josie, right.
Audio. Who has the chairs? Do
Right.
we need tablecloths for the tables?
Right.
Hey, do we have the mics?
Right.
Where are the backpacks being shipped to?
Where are the
Right.
children going to enter
Where-
from?
Right.
do
Everything.
do we have a storage? Like,
Right.
who's getting what wristbands and why?
Right.
Like, those are all things that, like, they don't seem like big things, but all of those things add up into a massive workload
Yes.
that people have to do, and have to do it at a high level, or it just doesn't work.
Oh, this is high level. We're not talking about.
This
Yeah.
isn't light. This is
And-
high level.
And then you have to think about going out and recruiting organizations and finding youth.
Oh, right.
And because we're dealing with minors, we need to make sure we have the right waivers in place. We're taking the right,
Right.
safety
We're
precautions,
vetting everybody that comes into the building.
background
Yes.
checks.
Oh yeah. It's
Like,
a lot.
we want to make sure everybody's safe so they can have a great experience.
For
And also so we can create an environment that they feel is like, that they feel is for them,
Right.
that they can open up and hopefully receive and build in.
Right.
Like, to me, that becomes the most important piece. And all of the logistics and planning and all of that behind the scenes is to create that opportunity
Yeah.
for, if it's one youth that walks out
Yep.
and is like, you know what, I have a different perspective of how this future looks. Who knows where that one perspective change goes?
Mm-hmm.
So we hope we have many more of those.
Right.
But all of that work is for that one opportunity.
That one, hoping for that one opportunity. I know we're getting close to wrapping up, but I want to talk a little bit, not just about Know Your Rights Camp, this is our first baby. Sorry, baby cat. But this really is our first baby before we decide to have a baby. Can you talk really quick about the different things that we have going on for people who are just tuning in, who don't know too much about the Know Your Rights Camp? They've just heard about it, but they don't really know. Obviously, we have our marquee event, which is what we're doing right now in
Youth camp.
Houston. We go from city to city. We have youth in attendance where, you know, we have a bunch of workshops going over, you know, different really important topics that we need to have, a conversation about that you already talked about, Colin. But we just released our Know Your Rights Camp app. Can you talk about the other things that we got going on in addition to the autopsy initiative as well?
Absolutely. So we have our Know Your Rights Camp, which are one-day camps for youth. Target demo is 13 to 18 for those, so middle school and high school. The autopsy initiative is another program that we've launched that's had significant impact. And we offer free second autopsies to any members or families of loved ones who have been killed in a police-related death. So when we think about second autopsies, a prominent one that we can think of was George Floyd. They tried to say that he died from drug abuse and I think a couple other things, but it was the second autopsy that revealed he died from asphyxiation. So it completely changes the dynamic of how the families can seek justice and also how they can get closure and clarity on what actually happened.
Right.
Which allows them to grieve, allows them to process it. But the issue with that is autopsies cost approximately $10,000.
Right.
So most families can't afford them, and most attorneys won't take on cases unless they know what the cause of death was.
Oh.
So
wow.
It becomes a significant barrier that families have to get over.
Yeah.
So we wanted to make sure that we opened up that opportunity for them. In the first, call it 18 months, we've done over 60 autopsies.
Wow. Yep.
That team is continuing to grow and build. So incredible work there. Speaking of the Know Your Rights Camp app, we
Right.
have our digital team
Right.
who is working on that. They're also building the Know Your Rights Camp podcast that launched this year.
Amazing.
Amazing pod.
They've been doing amazing work there. They will be here this weekend.
Right.
And in thinking about the digital app or the Know Your Rights Camp app, part of the reason we launched that was we had a partnership with White and Case where they gave us pro bono hours and work and helped us build out all of the state's traffic laws and all of the state's protest rights. And all of that is in the app.
And White and Case is a law firm.
White and Case is a law firm.
Right.
So you can go into the app, you can compare traffic laws
So
state by
amazing.
state.
Download
You
it.
can grow-
It's free.
You can compare protest rights state by state. It'll give you a breakdown.
Right.
So again, we want to make sure that we're giving tools to the community to allow them to move as effectively as possible so that they can be successful.
I also want to add on the website on knowyourrightscamp.org, we have different educational tools, right? So, your show, Colin, in black and white, right, on Netflix, we have a curriculum for it, right? Great activities in there, just great comprehension of how to approach the show, maybe some interesting questions to ask your family, ask your friends, and to have an important dialogue. So, that, and it's educational, right? The information on there, I just love it. And it has activities for teachers that they can implement in classrooms. We also have the Know Your Rights, Colin Kaepernick, really political education. And what does that look like? What does that mean when we say that? And just understanding, society and the changes that could happen. What's the actual language for change to happen? What needs to happen? So all this information is on the website. It is free. Again, it is a labor of love. We want you to have it. We don't want to hold it for ourselves, right? So all that educational, information and resources up there for you as well. So we keep you up to date where we're going. Also on our socials, make sure you let us know what city we should go to next.
At Your Rights Camp.
Yeah, let us know. And we want to be there. We want to get there.
And also let us know what programs you think would be beneficial to the community.
Right.
Like, we are constantly looking for ways to become better, the
Yes.
ways to create better programs, new programs, and better serve the community. So if there are things that you aren't able to find or you think would be a valuable resource for you,
Right.
let us know. That may turn into a program in the future, or it may help us find resources that already exist and we can help distribute those better.
And I did just want to say that now that I have both co-founders here of the Know Your Rights Camp,
Wait, we've never talked
I know.
together
So this
in
is great.
public, and we have to do this for the Know Your Rights Camp podcast.
I know, and
just
that's
so
why they
you
keep
know.
flagging us. So that's why I
Oh,
want to
that is
say
true.
this.
Yeah,
Yes,
we have to do this for the Know Your Rights
Yeah.
Camp podcast.
They keep looking over here like, hey, we're trying to grab them. But I do want to say thank you guys both for starting the Know Your Rights Camp, for all the work you've done for the camp, and continue to do. Like, they don't do this for themselves. They do this for the community. You guys do this for the community. And just, you guys continue to do the work. Great work. And it's never about yourselves. You never want to toot your own horn. But we're patting you guys on the back today.
Come here, Katrina. Are you tired yet, Katrina?
My feet hurt. I don't know if you've noticed. I've been shifting
no, I
foot
was
to
just
foot.
saying with the journey of Know Your Rights
Oh,
Camp.
absolutely. What?
I just want to make
there's
sure
nothing
that
to
you're
be
in
tired
it. I just want to
about.
know if you're going to stand in it or you're going to hide behind your to-do list. I need to know, are you 10 toes down?
I'm 10 toes
Okay.
down
All right.
in the to-do
Just wanna
list.
know.
I don't see a notebook or a to-do list
You know
anywhere
what?
in
There's
sight.
no space. I had to hold your mic in my other hand at first.
Okay, so we still have more.
Yeah, look,
Are
this-
we
look
missing
at those
anything?
boxes there.
Oh wait, no, Katrina, we have to be toxic with Colin in order for this to go
Colin,
viral.
who is your favorite person on the Nessa Off Air podcast? Don't say Tone. Go.
Say Tone.
You got to be. This has to be.
Tone catches the most strays on the podcast.
And he's like, so nice.
I think they're calling him. We'll give him an
Okay,
out.
okay.
I think they're
Okay,
calling
wait,
him.
wait, Colin. I think in order for this to go viral, you have to tell us.
Did you background check Nessa before you guys got together?
Absolutely.
Wait, one more. Are you still working out?
Of course.
Oh,
What
well,
kind of
you know,
question is
because
that?
you know, people don't know that you still train every single morning at
Right.
4:30, and it really bothers me because that alarm clock wakes me up. All right, so I'm grumpy every morning.
I hear it. I know she is.
Every morning. I don't think you understand.
Can I give you a simple solution?
Don't even say something smart. What?
Just get up and work out too.
All right, we still got more.
More stuff to do, more camp to go through.
More
We're excited.
conversations. Please enjoy this time behind the scenes. Know Your Rights Camp, the Nessa Off Air edition.
Let's go.